Hello everyone, and very nice to meet you online. My name is Marina and I work as an assistant professor on the topic of strategic design for ecosystem innovation in Delft. Today, I will be talking about a framework for designing for divergent values. You are probably wondering, do we really need another framework? The world is already filled with frameworks, tools, canvases. Well, I think we actually do need it. I believe that this framework is even a first step towards something more important, helping future generations of designers deliver designs that generate value for multiple stakeholders. Designs that are co-developed in collaboration with those stakeholders and with people of different expertise. While working as an architect for quite some time, I experienced firsthand how difficult it is to reconcile the sometimes competing needs of stakeholders. As a young designer, I often did not really oversee the standpoints of different stakeholders in a project. And I did not know how to deal with conflicts I was confronted with. For example, what do you do when your client wants to use cheaper materials to increase his profit margin? But when you also have to ensure easy maintenance for users, protect the aesthetic quality of the neighborhood, and the reputation of your firm. I really wanted to understand how designers and the people they collaborate with design for such divergent values and projects, and make this process more accessible to young designers. But where to start? Some colleagues and me thought it would be nice to take a complex but quite successful project as an inspirational case. A project where actors from multiple organizations and all kinds of stakeholders were involved. The development of the Binkhorst area in the city of The Hague, the Netherlands. We brought together key people who were involved in this project. They included representatives of multiple design firms, developers, and the municipality. And we asked them what they did in the project to realize value for all those diverse stakeholders of the project. It appeared that they never really had a discussion about the values they aimed to co-create together. For some of them, it was even the first time they actually ever met. But when we started to ask questions about values, the discussion immediately became very open and at times also pretty intense. Participants started to have discussions about certain design decisions based on what they thought would be valuable for residents, local businesses, but also their own organizations. While they sometimes fiercely disagreed, participants also expressed to understand each other's positions, and they started to explore solutions together. They felt heard and really in it together. This shows that opening up discussions about values can be very beneficial for the results of a collaborative design project. I would like to show you a video that explains this in more detail. Please have a look.
Values play an important role in every design project, especially in long-term projects that involve many different stakeholders. Such complex projects, like in mobility, health, and urban development, have to meet an ever-evolving list of criteria. We often tend to focus on surface-level needs and wishes, like the wish to preserve a historic building or the need to replace it with housing. Beneath these sometimes competing needs and wishes may lie similar values, like the desire to be included in what happens around you, or a determination to provide people with a decent home. These underlying values are often misinterpreted or overlooked, causing friction and confusion, whereas identifying and discussing them is key to creating common ground and solving issues. As a designer, you are in the perfect position to make values a core asset of the project. Use your design skills to uncover the values at play. Create a shared understanding of the internal and external values that drive stakeholders. Turn them into a manageable set of core values for the project. Show their implication and potential, and determine whether all values can come together into one design. This is how values can bring us one step closer to a successful design project.
As our video argues, designers can have an important role in opening up discussions about values. But to do that well, it is important to know that the term value can mean different things, and that every person may have a different association with it. The term value can refer to a quality that is co-created in a project and that represents a certain amount of work. In this video, we refer to this as external values. But values are also the guiding principles that influence people's choices, which we refer to in the video as internal values. When actors from different disciplines collaborate, an awareness of these different perspectives toward values can help to find common ground and avoid miscommunication or confusion. The aim of this study is to find out which internal and external values actually play a role in multidisciplinary design processes, to make it easier for designers and design students to spot potential value conflicts and to recognize opportunities for optimizing value for stakeholders. The central research question is, which type of values play a role in multidisciplinary design processes? To answer this research question, I brought together insights from 24 workshops with architects and theory from different streams of literature. I coded and clustered the values that were mentioned in literature and workshops by using a qualitative coding procedure that was inspired by the Goya methodology. This led to a simple, integrative overview of values that design students and designers can easily use in their projects. The framework was developed in 3 iterations, in which input and feedback from scholars working on value-related topics in different disciplines, students, teachers, and design practitioners was included. The empirical data were collected with architects from diverse types of firms. In each workshop, which lasted approximately 3 hours, participants were asked to jointly fill in the project value modeling blueprint for one of their ongoing projects. This tool helps participants to identify and discuss which values could or should be created in a project, and also to come up with concrete steps for how to do that, based on an ordered set of questions. The empirical data showed that even though the tool specifically focuses on word creation, designers also considered values that served as their compass to guide their own decisions and activities. For example, participants often describe trying to do what is best for the client, thereby expressing altruistic motives. Also conforming to what is expected of designers, happiness at work, or an equal relationship with partners were frequently mentioned. This clearly indicates the importance of integrating both perspectives towards value in the framework. With regard to literature, I collected and analyzed work from different academic fields. Building on insights from the workshops and many discussions with peers, students, and practitioners, I included literature that discusses value from an economic and quality perspective, so considering values as worth that is or that can be co-created. I also included literature that adopts a moral or social perspective of value and focuses on values as the guiding principles that actors have and base their actions and decisions on. Even though most people agree that both human values and worth are present in design processes, there is not a lot of work that departs from and integrates these 2 perspectives towards values. Such studies are also really complex and challenging to use in daily work settings or in design education. With this study, I aim to present a first step towards an integrated framework that can help designers and design students to effectively discuss and reconcile the divergent values in multidisciplinary settings. On the vertical axis, the framework consists of a section which I've called Values as Guiding Principles. This is the section at the top. This section includes principles of individuals that stem from human nature and principles of groups related to social interaction. There is also a Values as Quality with Worth section at the bottom, which includes values to be co-created for people and planet. These two sections of the framework are of course highly interconnected. Actions and decisions related to co-creating worth are continuously influenced by actors' guiding principles, and vice versa. On the horizontal axis, the framework consists of 3 degrees of value specificity, making a distinction between overarching value dimensions on the left, underlying motivational goals in the middle, and specific value examples on the right. People often talk in abstract terms, which everyone can easily agree with in a discussion, even though people may have different meanings of the term in their heads, or about concrete design solutions. By doing this, tensions between values often remain hidden. This framework helps to make a connection between the higher level value-related issues and the specific design opportunities and constraints of a project. So far, I've experienced that the framework really helps to get a more comprehensive overview of the different values that play a role in design projects, to have discussions with others about approaches, desires, and expertise related to these values. And also to clearly define why you focus on specific values and not on others. It is also very helpful in conversations with students who wish to work on value-related topics. It gives them a head start to understanding the complexity of designing for values and allows them to better position their work. Of course, this study and the current framework is far from complete, and it will most likely evoke a lot of discussion. For example, how and why did I put things in boxes that cannot really be understood in isolation and that actually do not fit into a single box? Those of you who are familiar with value-related literature know that scholars have proposed all kinds of categorizations and types of values that are not directly visible in this framework, or that sometimes even do not fully align with how the framework is currently built up. It is simply impossible to make a framework that captures all knowledge on values in a way that is useful to everyone. My intention with this framework and paper is to provide a conversation starter on values that people can use and develop in whatever way they like. In the near future, I wish to further develop this work in 2 directions. First, I would like to establish a more comprehensive and nuanced theoretical basis. Second, I would like to investigate how the framework could exactly be used in design education and in design projects. Our focus group with participants of the Binkhurst project showed that it can be very beneficial to have conversations with each other around values. But how can actors engage in such discussions? How could designers use it in collaborative design processes with people of different disciplines and backgrounds? Could they perhaps even help facilitate value discussions between different actors? An interesting direction for further development, at least in my opinion, is to build, test, and iterate different methods and tools and see how they could help discuss and design for divergent values in multidisciplinary settings. I'm very excited to take this to the next level, and I hope that you have thoughts, ideas, or suggestions that you would like to share. If you are interested in learning more about the theoretical and empirical basis of this work or how the framework was exactly developed, I invite you to read my paper. And please reach out to me if you are interested in collaborating on this topic. It would be really great if we could join forces. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. And of course, also many thanks to all the participants, students, colleagues, and the Delft Design for Values Institute. I really enjoyed all the conversations we had, and I hope that this is just the beginning of an amazing journey.